With a huge star set to become a free agent and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Explaining why fans that attend tonight's Raw may not be happy, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, "I'll tell you what, the thing is there's going to be a lot of upset people because they sold almost 1,700 tickets in the last week for Albany for Raw, and that's for Punk. I mean, they never advertised him. People just bought the tickets assuming he'd be there, but tickets moved, and that's a lot of tickets to move in a week, so that's the reason they moved, so we'll see." It was added that Ringside News exclusively reported CM Punk's return to WWE's Raw brand, but subsequent information surfaced indicating he's internally listed as a free agent. To clarify, Ringside News contacted a seasoned member of the creative team who confirmed Punk is listed as a free agent, so if we need him to appear on SmackDown, he can without trouble. Currently, CM Punk is primarily assigned to Raw, where he will be featured in his initial storylines. While fans can anticipate seeing him on Monday nights, WWE also retains the flexibility to utilize him across different shows as needed. As a fan had a sign that asked Scarlett Bordeaux to marry him, Scarlett's husband, Karrion Kross, reacted. Here's the video. WWE said that Kevin Owens fractured his 4th and 5th metacarpal during SmackDown last week, as Ringside News wrote this regarding it. Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Kevin Owens has this injury in storyline, so he can't throw the punch. After all, KO's punch has received quite a push in recent memory. It wasn't all too long ago when Kevin Owens knocked out Grayson Waller and Austin Theory at the same time with one punch. Addressing his previous criticism of the Raw promo by CM Punk, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I said his return promo in AEW wasn't the best promo I ever saw. It could have had more substance to it, and a lot of people gave me backlash because I said that, because I didn't say it was the greatest promo in the world. It was a pipe bomb. In this promo on Monday night, it was a heartfelt promo, that's what I think. At points in time, CM Punk got caught in the moment a little bit. He almost got choked up a little bit. I know this. When you leave a company and come back, you wonder how the fans are going to treat you. You wonder if they're going to boo you out of the building. You just don't know. For CM Punk, the way he left, very polarizing, and then to come back, even in Chicago, he might have had that feeling, wondering how is it going to be. For CM Punk to come out not having that comfort zone on Monday of being in Chicago, wondering how are they going to react. Then they give him the ultimate pop. That says something to you. This promo that he cut, it felt like a heartfelt promo. Seemed like he was speaking from the heart. It seemed like he had some notes written, but sometimes you forget the script and just go with the heart. For me, it wasn't the greatest promo as far as I'm going to whoop everyone's ass in the locker room promo, which is what I'm looking for a lot of times. It was not that. Asked for a reason why she is yet to step inside a WWE ring and have a match, Jade Cargill told the Dallas Morning News, "So, you want me to reveal what we have in the works, it seems like? So, listen, I think the fan base should be patient. I think they need to understand we're making a diamond. We're creating something that's going to be a legacy. We're creating something that's going to create echoes and waves throughout not just the wrestling culture, but pop culture and beyond. They're setting me up for success. You shouldn't rush success. I've been on TV in front of thousands of people several times. One thing I know how to do is entertain a crowd. And no one can say different. I can do that. The WWE Universe knows exactly what they're doing. I trust them. I believe in this system. When they see me in that ring, understand there's no turning back. WWE's believing in everything I'm doing, giving me everything that I could fathom. And I'm going to be ready. I'm already ready. But again, it's on my time. And everybody should be patient. And when I come, just understand I'm taking over. Revealing the identities of those that were recently fired by WWE, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, they cut 5 senior vice presidents. They cut Michael White, who was on all of the conference calls, the investors' calls every quarter. Most of the people who were cut, it was a business thing, and they had people already for the jobs. Craig Stimmel, who was the head of global sales, I'm sure they had someone for that job. Karen Mullane, who was the chief accounting officer, and Stuart Fry, who was the senior vice president of streaming technology. Matt Geyer, who was the senior vice president of gaming. So they were some of the key people who were cut. Michael White was with the company for something like 17 years. He was always on those calls when they went through everything. Ringside News added that Dave Meltzer went on to say that this was expected because UFC fired a lot of people when Endeavor took over their company as well. There were no sacred cows, he noted. As he said, they cut a lot of people who build that company. From an organizational standpoint, you didn't know who would get cut, and a lot of major people got cut, and it was the same thing here with WWE. When it comes to who Roman Reigns could be facing at the Royal Rumble, it was said by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, I know that it was under consideration. I also know that there were other ideas too. I thought from what I watched Raw on Monday that it was going to be Roman versus Randy at the pay-per-view. There are ideas, but it's possible that there were other ideas too, so we'll see how it plays out. This is the strongest by far. You could do Punk, but it's too early, and Punk is with Rollins. Kevin Owens is going with Logan Paul. The angle basically told you, right? They got 9 weeks to promote it, so that's what I expect it being. Nothing else makes sense. Touching on a possible rematch with Roman Reigns down the line, Kevin Owens told James Williams, I'll be honest, maybe a little too honest. I don't think the fans would have liked that, a rematch, because I've had my shot at Roman Reigns many times. For one reason or another, it didn't work out. I almost don't want to even try, because I don't think that's what fans want. They've seen it. I'm here for the fans. I want people to enjoy what I'm doing. So as much as I wish I could be champion and go for the title again, I don't think it's right. So it's not in my plans. At a WWE live event, a fan attempted to jump the barricade and attack Grayson Waller. Here's the clip. Going over how WWE may test CM Punk with his first feud since his return to the company, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that he may lose that initial feud. Yeah, I think that they may do that just to, see his attitude. I could see that. I think from a business standpoint, that's the problem. From a pure business standpoint, if he had no baggage on him and everything like that, I would say that he really should win. He's so over, blah, 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 but I don't think you can go that way. I think he has to do something to prove to everyone that he can do business. I'm sure he will, because he has to. They're not going to put up with that. They're not going to put up with him saying no. So I think there's a good chance of that happening, because in the long term, they do want to go with him and Roman Reigns. So in that case, what do? Ringside News added, it was further noted that WWE's plan for CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is very long term. That being said, CM Punk may have plenty of stories to tell until that match is upon him. giving his reason for getting into better shape. Intercontinental Champion Gunther told Chris Van Vliet, "The first step was like during COVID, we have a friend that is a bodybuilder and he's coaching people. I think he owns a gym now and runs it and stuff. He started to help Kaiser and Gio with their diet a little bit, and they were following a diet and they got in incredible shape. So we had that guy around, and I was never really, that's the one thing I have to say. Usually I was always on top of things in my adult life, but the diet is always something I kind of like neglected because I was good the way I was. But when I signed for the main roster and I knew, okay, moving over now, I know I'm going to be on national TV, I thought, okay, let's bring the best version of yourself you can. You're going to be in front of millions of people every week. I think that step is necessary now. I'm glad I did it. I feel like the independent wrestler Walter that was a little bit bigger and looked like a butcher from the next door shop, that was cool. I think that was fine for then, and I feel like for the wrestling enthusiast on the independent market, like when you think back like Stan Hansen or Terry Gordy, like the bigger guys, I think it has its place in wrestling a little bit, but I felt like it was time to make a step and progress. Asked who was the better sports entertainer between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Road Dogg said on his Oh You Didn't Know podcast, "I say The Rock." And I always say that because she specifically said sports entertainer, and I think yes, Stone Cold was a sports entertainer for sure, first and foremost, but what's he doing now? I went with The Rock on the last one. I think Stone Cold was a better wrestler than The Rock, and some of the stuff that I say might not make sense to you, but it makes sense in my head, and that's where I have to live. In a video, former WWE star Jackie Gayda can be seen with a new look as she is attempting to sell her ring gear.
Hi everybody, this is Miss Jackie. I know I'm a brunette, not a blonde as you remember me back in the day, but I've got some awesome stuff for you here. So, WWE worn. This is television, okay? So do your homework, find a promo. And I walked up to the ring in this guy. I'm sure I wore it for a house show or so too. Same thing. I think this was only house showish, but still nonetheless, WWE worn, raw, and who doesn't love school girl skirts? Thanks, guys.
With a fan trying to jump the barricade at a WWE live event and attack Grayson Waller, the WWE star has responded, writing on X, "This is what happens when idiot Americans try to get in a battle of wit with an Aussie." Speaking about his experiences with the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam said on his One of a Kind podcast, "Yeah, I'm glad we got footage of RVD wrestling with Flair. I like him now too, but even when I was there, even, I don't know, everyone treated him like I really can't. To go back into that state of mind, I feel like I'd be rehashing, talking but because I keep it real on my podcast, I don't mean any talking by this, but back then at that time when I was in the competitive mindset and had the ego that I had, I felt that a lot of the boys kissed his ass, laughed because he would wear his robe at the bar, maybe with not much underneath, and I just thought I would roll my eyes at that. It wasn't entertaining to me. He wasn't my hero growing up. Hulk Hogan was because we only got WWF, whereas people in the South, Ric Flair was their Hulk Hogan. That's how I always thought it. And just even backstage, there's a story that I won't get into, but let's just say I thought he was a stooge at one point, that he stooged on me for smoking, Mr. Ric Flair, that now has his own marijuana brand. On X, Leon St. Giovanni posted a video of him wrestling former WWE and ECW star Spike Dudley, who had not been in a wrestling ring in 8 years.
It's all sugar, dude. Like, you can have bread and it's all spicy. Or like, that's just some British.
Going over changes to plans in WWE that the creative team is dealing with, it was said that there are a ton of possibilities on the WWE roster right now, and the recent additions of Randy Orton and CM Punk could certainly shake things up. We've been told that plans are indeed changing, but Punk had little to do with it. Ringside News was informed by a tenured member of the WWE creative team that there are lots of plans in flux at the moment. It was not confirmed which plans are changing, but they're certainly shifting a few things around. Ringside News was able to confirm that CM Punk's return to WWE did not cause them to initiate these talks. We were told that WWE has been discussing reshuffling some plans before Punk's return. WWE has the Royal Rumble ahead of them on January 27th, giving their roster 2 solid months between Survivor Series and their next premium live event in 2024. This will allow them to do a lot with their stories, so if plans need to be shifted, they may not be forced to rush anything. Ringside News exclusively reported that WWE is not internally discussing CM Punk versus Steve Austin at this time. That won't stop the absolute dream match from churning in the rumor mill in a big way. Mentioning his time in AEW, especially the booking over the last few months, Jeff Hardy said on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, when I first came back, it was pretty exciting. I didn't know what was going to be happening in the near future, but I think the last time I was in this extreme dimension of y'all's podcast, I said that in WWE, I felt like I was a ghost, just walking around backstage. Honestly, man, I kind of still feel like that at AEW, just because of not being involved in something cool. I feel like there's something so special that we, Jeff and Matt, have within us to really bring out. When it comes to a popular New Japan star and former IWGP heavyweight champion becoming available on the open market for pro wrestling, it was reported that Kazuchika Okada is about to become a free agent. Sports Illustrated has learned the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Okada's current contract expires at the end of January. Ringside News previously reported this regarding WWE's interest in Okada. One person who buzzed us about the renewed interest in Okada said that one of the reasons Nakamura is getting a renewed push is to show Okada that this regime is not going to treat Japanese like the stereotypical children-like role. Ringside News reached out to our sources within WWE to inquire about interest in bringing in the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. We were told by a tenured member of the team that Kazuchika Okada has reached out to see if WWE is interested. That being said, it's not like WWE is pursuing and making a big play for Okada. We were additionally told that there was a meeting where a number of names were brought up. His was one of many. It seems that Kazuchika Okada's name is coming up in WWE after all. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.